Yoga Yoga Yogeshwaraya Bhuta Bhuta Bhuteshwaraya Kala Kala Kaleshwaraya Shiva Shiva Shambho, Shambho, Mahadevaya. Yoga Yoga Yogeshwaraya Bhuta Bhuta Bhuteshwaraya Kala Kala Kaleshwaraya Shiva Shiva Sarveshwaraya Shambho Shambho Mahadevaya. Yoga Yoga Yogeshwaraya Bhuta Bhuta Bhuteshwaraya Kala Kala Kaleshwaraya Shiva Shiva Sarveshwaraya Shambho Shambho Mahadevaya. Yoga Yoga Yogeshwaraya Bhuta Bhuta Bhuteshwaraya Kala Kala Kaleshwaraya Shiva Shiva Sarveshwaraya Shambho Shambho Mahadevaya. Yoga Yoga Yogeshwaraya Bhuta Bhuta Bhuteshwaraya Kala Kala Kaleshwaraya Shiva Shiva Sarveshwaraya Shambho Shambho Mahadevaya. Jananam sukadham maranam karunam milanam maduram smaranam karunam kalavashyadiha sakalam karunam samayadipate akilam karunam. Namaskaram. Namaskaram to all of you, wherever you are. Well, 50 days into lockdown. Tamil Nadu, or the government of Tamil Nadu, has extended the lockdown till the end of the month. Though, with a little bit of relaxation, that certain number of things are working in the cities. Coimbatore city has been declared as COVID-free city. Fortunately, more than 80% of all the infections or the COVID infections in the country is restricted only to 30 districts in the country, which is a wonderful thing, that in some way we've managed to contain it. And the fatality rate in India is below half of what the rest of the world is. Generally, it's around 6%, it is well below 3% here. Many factors involved, but that is making it look promising that by the end of the month at least there could be much more relaxation. But relaxation does not mean we can give up on social distancing. In all the queues that they stand in India, they must have an umbrella. My umbrella diameter, your umbrella diameter together is a little more than a meter. Nice ways. It's better to carry an umbrella anytime. By the end of this month, there will be monsoons. Good to have the practice of carrying an umbrella in the summer. And it's also social distancing, otherwise it'll poke you if you come too close. Well, I think the death toll in the world has crossed 300,000, still continuing. Many nations have managed to control it. United States, still not looking good. That's where we are. So there are many aspects to this, how we need to adjust our life to this. A whole lot of suffering in advance is happening with people. As usual, I'm saying. They start suffering things which are yet to happen. When it happens, it will have something upon us, can't help it. But people start suffering in advance because a lot of people think it's their right to suffer. Of course, it's your right to suffer, it's right to die. All these rights are there. It's just that if you're a sensible human being, you will not exercise those rights. If you value life, you will not exercise those rights. There are other kinds of rights that you must exercise. Right now, you saw the mess of opening the alcohol vents in the country. People went crazy, now they're all getting home delivery. So a certain segment of the country's population is in coma. No, I said it right, not coma, coma. Domestic violence has come down. But when they wake up and there is no next drink, then again domestic violence will go up. If you look at the world, the way we have allowed it to go, Or if you want to claim responsibility for it, the way we have structured it, the value of the entire food production or agricultural production in the world is $3.7 trillion. But just the alcohol is $1.6 trillion. Drugs and tobacco put together is another $1.2 trillion. So together you have $2.8 trillion worth of alcohol, tobacco and drugs. I'm not talking about pharmaceuticals, I'm talking about drugs. You understand, right? Because some of them are thinking it's codoperine or something. So, this is the way we've allowed the world to go, or this is the way we have structured it. There are many other more horrible statistics. I don't want to spoil the evening for you, so we'll spare that, but this is good enough. $2.8 trillion worth of alcohol, tobacco and hallucinogenic drugs and $3.7 trillion worth of food. So, we are eating… I think in a little while, this will overtake the food. It looks like that. So now people are worried, post-COVID, what do I do? Post-lockdown, what do I do? Will I have a job? Will I have a business? Will I do this? Will I do that? Yes, it is an economic concern. But being human beings, we will find a way. Will it be easy? No. Will it be very difficult? No. Oh, Sadhguru, you're talking in contradictory stuff. Yes and no for the same thing. It will be very difficult if you are set in concrete. Your mind is set in concrete, your emotions are set in concrete, your physical comforts are set in concrete. If you have to do something little different, it will hurt immensely. If you're flexible, it's going to be very different, but need not necessarily be very difficult. In yoga, I think it's Krishna who said this, said, yogastaha kuru karmani. First establish yourself in yoga and then act. If this one thing if you had done, action, how will we do? As the situation demands. But my way of being is not determined by what I do, so what does it matter? What is needed is what I will do. Well, we are concerned about those people who may move into starvation mode. Right now, the government of India, like almost every other national government in the world, has come up with an economic package which is trying to reach maximum number of people, a massive package. But still, of course, there will be people who'll be clueless how to benefit from this. So that is where society comes in, that is where all of us come in, that we can step up and do something. Well, our wonderful volunteers are doing a fantastic job out there in the rural Tamil Nadu. They are not only providing food, they have also ensured, along with the authorities and government establishment, to ensure that this region doesn't have a single case yet Now that people are moving, traveling, traffic is picking up. It may come, but still it's wonderful for this 2 months without a single case is a fantastic achievement. So, this is because in some way it is yogastaha kuru karmani, risking. When people are afraid to step out, when people are discriminating against each other, thinking they may be infected, well, our volunteers are out like many other doctors, nurses, police. Unfortunately, a whole lot of them, when I say a whole lot of them, a few hundred police personnel, government officials, doctors and nurses have died in the world, unfortunately, in the last 2 months. Those who stepped out to do something useful for somebody else, they should not have died, but unfortunately, initially we did not have the necessary protective gear. Nobody figured what is protective gear. They thought just a mask will do, then they said you need glasses, then they said you need a whole suit. So, everybody was trying to look where it was all coming from somewhere else. Now each nation have started manufacturing their own. India is manufacturing about 200,000 suits per day right now. Over 200 new industries have come up and they're doing this, we are not importing it anymore, which is a massive change. So, many things are being done, but in a crisis like this, it always feels it's not enough. So, what do we do? What does everybody else do in this world? Establish yourself in yoga and then act. So, Sadhguru, should I be in a yogic posture and then act? When you are in a yogic posture, you must just stay there. You should not act. We are talking about yoga, not yogasana. Establishing yourself in yoga means you have some sense of unity with the world around you. When you see other life, you reverberate in some way. Maybe you're not absolutely one, but in some way, a little bit. That means your little taste of yoga is happening, union. Yoga means union. Little union is happening. You're not going around like a rock. Why should I insult a rock? They are so beautiful. So, your boundaries of what you think as myself have been breached a little bit. Then, in your own small little way, you're a little bit of a yogi. Now once you're like this, then you act. How will you act? You will do it the way it's necessary in the given moment. Right now, everybody is asking what to do after post-COVID. The thing is, we do not know when it'll be post-COVID. Yes. And we do not know how it'll be post-COVID. And we do not even know whether we will be there post-COVID. Yes. Yes, that's a fact. Because it is no more a respiratory infection, blood clots are forming, heart attacks are happening, strokes are happening, liver damage is happening, brain damage is happening, which we are proof, of course. That was a joke aimed at a few people here. So, we do not know how many will survive in terms of escape the fatality, how many will be damaged severely. We do not know because it's still not confirmed, nobody is giving us a clear thing. If once you get an infection and you come out of it, then you're immune to it. There is no clear statement on that. It can come to you again and again and again. It could damage your system. So, when we do not know a situation, there is no point doing stupid guesswork and try to build confidence. This confidence could be deadly. It's best to be conscious, cautious and precautious with action. And let's wait how the situation unfolds. But you're established in yoga. Whichever way the situation comes, we'll do our best in the given situation. Even now that's what we're doing. This is not a perfect situation. Everybody was complaining about this 2 months ago. Now suddenly they think now is perfect, post-COVID it's going to be really bad. This happened. Shankaran Pillai met a friend in the evening and the friend asked, you got a new job, isn't it? How is it doing? Oh, he said, I hate it, every bit of it. How long you been working? 3 months. Then why are you sticking on? Why don't you just get out of it if you don't like it? I said, what do you mean? This is the first time I'm looking forward to go home after 20 years of marriage. Right now, there are many people raring to go to work. Lockdown, they have not stepped out of their homes, they desperately want to go to work now, which they never did all their life. So, many things are changing like this, we don't know what the situation is, so best thing is to keep ourselves well. I said 10%, but now lockdown extended in Tamil Nadu, maybe many other states also will do it in this country. Some other nations have already done it till the end of the month. So another 10% improvement we must do. Physically, mentally, emotionally, energy-wise, and our competence, another 10% improvement. Because the price that you're paying, let us say for example, I'm taking, we could go on all the four, but the price that you're paying for something very simple, like you have emotions about everything. Somebody says something, you will become like this, somebody does something that you don't like, you will become like that. Now, once you have this, you don't know what it's costing you in terms of your life. It is taking away the very possibility of your existence. If we consider what is happening because you have no control over your thought process, no control over the energetic system and your body, the physiological, psychological, emotional compulsions are completely taking away the possibility of being human itself for most human beings. They are still, taking themselves backward in evolution, operating out of instincts and compulsiveness. I'm saying 10% improvement if you do, in your experience it feels like you've gotten enlightened. Others may not still see that way, but you will feel suddenly, wow. Yes. So another 10% improvement all of you must do because 15 more days are there. It's a lot of time. How do I do it? How do I do it? To change the patterns of your thought and emotion, just the online program will do, the inner engineering online. Hey, you're a banner, huh? Is it online or just inner engineering? You must add online, write it with a pen, okay? Just an online program, if you imbibe the essence of what it is, which is very simple, any fool can get it. That's the kind of language it's been spoken in and presented. If you get 10% of the online program, 10% improvement in your balance and stuff will happen. It's that simple. So don't think you're such a complicated problem. No, Sadhguru, I am a hard nut. I am glad one part of what you're saying is true. Hard part is not true, the other one is true. I appreciate your effort to be at least 50% honest. This happened. There was a guru, I think this incident is some 170, 180 years ago, on the banks of Narmada. So the guru, as you know, this has been a part of this culture, you always take a dip. In a tropical country, one great pleasure in the morning is to go and dip in the river, which you cannot do in cold countries. So in India, going and taking a dip in the river is one great pleasure. Every day morning, most people had their morning bath only by going into the river. So the guru went there and a disciple went with him because of clothes. So the guru got into the river, had a dip and about to turn back, then he saw a scorpion was floating desperately on the water. It's a reptile, it's not a swimming creature, but somehow has fallen into the river and being washed away. So it doesn't matter what you think about the scorpion, scorpion thinks it is a great life. I think many of you are Scorpios by whatever that… what do you call that? The zodiac signs. So other people may think you are a venomous nonsense, but you know you are very nice. So scorpion obviously thinks he is great. You see how he walks, obviously he thinks he's very handsome and wonderful. Have you seen a scorpion? Their venom, I'll not go into that aspect anyway. So the guru naturally put his hand and picked up the scorpion. The Indian tropical scorpion, the black ones will be this long. If you stretch the tail, it'll be this long. And they have very potent venom. So he picked it up with both his hands. The disciple saw this and said, "Just drop the thing, it's venomous, it'll sting you." The guru carried it on and the scorpion stung him once, but he carried it on. By now, the disciple was freaking, "I told you it will sting you, it's poisonous, what are you doing?" As he walked, by the time he came to the bank, it stung him 3 times. It can be very painful. Scorpion, someday you must experience it. No, I'm only trying to share my life with you. I have been stung by all kinds of things, I thought you must also experience it. So, then he came to the banks and let it go and it ran away. Happy, it found its way out. Because a scorpion which is floating in the river can't figure which side is the bank, it doesn't have the means. So the disciple said, "What is the matter with you? I told you it will sting, 3 times it stung you, it'll become… it's venomous, it's going to do this, it's going to do that." So the guru said, "Just relax now. The scorpion is doing what it knows best. I'm doing what I know best. He's acting according to his quality, I'm acting according to my quality. This is it. You just relax and you are acting according to your quality." Scorpion in this life has no opportunity to evolve into a parrot or into an eagle or into a human being, no such opportunity for him. So he will go and do his stuff. You, possible that in these 15 days, 10% improvement you can do. Yes? So, you just have to do this is a great opportunity. Well, but Sadhguru, my business, my employment, all that will come. When it comes, we'll see. We don't know whether we'll have employment or we also have to go sit somewhere, some other foundation will come and give us food. Yes, I'm telling you, we are offering food to thousands of people, not out of magnanimity, simply humanity, that's all. So tomorrow if we don't have food, maybe there is some other foundation will come and give us food, we will take it and happily eat it. I will. Hello? Oh, all my life I have mostly eaten in other people's homes, all right? Thanks to all of them that I'm well-fed. Yes? So, how situation is going to be, how bad or good it is going to be, we don't know. We don't have to paint a picture that we don't know anything about yet. But the important thing is to be geared in such a way, whatever the damn picture, you will be a good part of that picture. That much we can do. Huh? We can do that much, and that's all you can do, you must know this. This generation of people have lived in too much comfort, they don't know what it is. In a few countries, unfortunately, they are going through terrible things. But largely, most part of the world has lived in too much comfort. If you… suppose we take away all your phones, cell phones, and we will put a few black phones, lots of them, all around the yoga center. You just have to stand there, you have to do 10-digit number every time. Oh, you will freak because you're used to… all right? But we all lived like that. Only now we have these phones. I used to make 50, 100 calls in a day, my finger would be hurting. This is the only finger that goes in, little finger is too weak to do that. These two won't go into that black phone. By the time I make 60, 70, 80 calls, even my finger would be hurting. I'm saying, as technology and comforts come, human beings are becoming too, they have a sense of entitlement which is destructive. So the virus, it may not have that intention, but we can treat the virus as our guru. I told you, you must see Sadhguru in everything. Yes. Because if you don't learn from this, then when will you learn? Virus has no intention of teaching you anything, it just wants to live, but unfortunately you die too quickly. But Indians are not, they're providing good habitat for them. So, here is the opportunity that every one of us strive. Just imagine a world, if every human being on this planet is 10% better in the next 15 days. What a beautiful world, How many problems are gone? 10% gone means, remaining stuff you keep it for some time. What to do? So, this needs to be addressed in a realistic way, not in some fanciful way. Shankaran Pillai decided to join Indian Army. Indian Army would have preferred that he joins the Pakistani Army. But being an Indian citizen, he could only join this army. So the training was going on and the sergeant training them for battle situations. So took them into the jungle and walking them through as if it's like a real battle zone. Then he asked Shankaran Pillai, yelling at him, "Now 10 enemy soldiers have come here, what will you do now? What will you do?" What do I do? No, what will you do? 10 enemy soldiers are right here, what will you do?" Then he said, "Okay, I will surround them." So, you still do not know the nature of the situation we are getting into. Either you can… people think they must talk positively or negatively. Some people paint a dirty picture of a terrible, picture of what will be post-virus. Other people want to paint a rosy picture and say everything will be fine, this will happen. The reality is we don't know a damn thing, we'll just wait, Hello? We just have to wait. Only thing we can do is, we can make ourselves better soldiers. We don't know whether 10 enemy will come or 2 will come or none will come, we don't know yet. Accordingly we will act at that time. Right now the only thing is, make ourselves into real wonderful soldiers. Maybe enemy will come, maybe they will not even come. That's how it should be.
This question is from Vishwesh. Namaskaram Sadhguru. In these past few months, while coronavirus has been hitting the headlines, there has been a quite disaster of much larger proportions unfolding in India and the world. This is in terms of water shortages and the deterioration of ecology and landscape. How do we address the many problems related to this?
Well, water shortages are there, but fortunately this year, almost across the country except a few patches, there have been summer rains. Because of that, there is a little bit of relief. It's not gone into extreme conditions. Usually in the month of May, right now it's mid-May, every drop of water that is in the open in the form of lakes and ponds and everything would have dried up in this season. But this year, fortunately, or maybe because pollution levels are so low in the air, there has been enough rain. I remember when I was a child, through the summer, they would say, "Today is Ugadi, Ugadi rain will happen." Always it happened. It's getting a little hot in the month of March, they will say Ugadi is coming, it's a festival, it's a Telugu and Kannada New Year's Day. They'll say, on Ugadi day or the next day it will rain. Always it rained. All those patterns which existed have been seriously disturbed. Probably one of the reasons is the heat in the air. The number of machines, automobiles and factories and everything functioning. This year probably the pattern is coming back sort of. Maybe, I'm just guessing, maybe because not so much smoke and heat in the air, possible. So, today there is only one problem, we have forgotten all other problems in the world. There's only one problem, virus problem, but there are so many other problems. One of them is ecological degradation, serious degradation that's happening in the world. As a part of this, whether it's economic degradation or virus today or another pandemic after 10 years or whatever, in case whatever happens, one important thing is, we've been talking about this for over 20 years, I've been talking about it, that is at least 30% of the human diet should come from trees. If 30% of human diet becomes fruit, Well, this is a wild guess. Probably maybe 20 to 30% of pharmaceutical consumption will go down, load on the healthcare systems will go down, people will be much more agile, smarter, better in every way. But we have not invested in that enough. It's beginning to happen, but not enough. In the West, like in Europe, America, there's lots of fruit, but with almost nothing in it. Because it's grown in such a way, it is engineered in such a way, that fruit it's better not to eat it. This is a country, being a tropical nation, from Kanyakumari to Kashmir, every kind of fruit that you can imagine. Unfortunately, most of them have gone out of the market, many traditional fruits in this country, which are super healthy for people to consume, has gone out, we need to bring it back. Today fruit means everybody thinks apple, banana and one more thing and one more thing. No, tropical nation has hundreds of fruits to be eaten in every season. We need to bring it back. This is a food security for future. If you are growing only this, right now the pandemic is hitting you. Let us say some virus or something came to the agriculture. The crops didn't happen this year. What will you do? Or rains didn't happen this year, no water. What do? A certain amount of food should be a long-term crop, not a 3-month, 4-month crop. This has to happen for human well-being, for health and for food security, and above all for ecological balance. At least 30% of food should come from trees. This will also prevent migration. Right now in India, one word that is going around is migrant labor, migrant labor, migrant labor, all the horrible things that are happening to them and many things being recorded, videos of pathetic conditions and people traveling in very, very difficult situations. Why is it that so many of them left their villages and came to the city to do some menial job? Simply because here and there, 1 or 2 years of drought, their whole economy got destroyed. The only way is to move to the city. If they had even 2 acres of land, which is the average in this country, and if at least 150 trees were there which were yielding something, either timber trees or fruit trees, would they leave their village and go away? They would not do that. If you want to prevent migration, where the numbers of migration before the virus, we were talking about in the next decade, that is by 2030, there would be 1.6 billion people migrating on this planet, leaving their traditional homelands and going somewhere to unknown place to go through all kinds of horrific situations, especially for women and children. This is the most horrible thing, unplanned migration. Most horrible and denigrating things will happen to those families. So, in India, it is estimated over 200 million people will migrate in the next 10 years. And you have seen the slums in Mumbai, almost every city. If that multiplies manyfold, there is nothing you can do about them. Once they come and settle down, it will be absolutely inhuman to move them or mow their little huts or shacks down. It's a terrible thing to do. So, one simple way to restrict migration is that there must be tree cultivation. Agroforestry is a significant effort in this direction. We are doing this work in the Kaveri basin, but it needs to happen across the world for ecological balance, for watershed management, for food security, and to restrict migration. Long-term crops must be there on the land. Only then this will happen. And above all, to maintain biodiversity, without which all these things will not happen. So is it so difficult to do it? It is not. It is just that still it has not come into the policy of most nations to act decisively in this direction. In India, the government has taken some steps, but being a concurrent subject, agriculture and water resources being a concurrent subject between the central government and the state governments, different states are acting at different levels of intensity, though the recommendation policy recommendation has already happened at the center. States are going at their own pace because the central government doesn't have a geography of its own. It is the states which have land, they have to do it. Some states are going well, others are going slow. Now with virus, everything is forgotten, the only news is virus. Now this migrant labor problem and the atrocities that they are going through in terms of their suffering must be a good lesson for us to understand that we must limit this. It will be limited not by controlling them by force, but by making living in a village must be lucrative for them. There must be a livelihood, then they will not move into the cities. So, this is a major issue on the planet. So this is the reason why we're in the process of launching this conscious planet movement. The basic idea behind this is 60% of the franchise, 60% of the population which holds franchise, which has the power to elect governments, which amounts to about 3 billion people, must become conscious of this. And we want to make sure every political party, the top 3 political parties in the country which could get elected, we want to make sure in their manifestos, election manifestos, if not number 1 item, at least number 2 item must be ecological concerns. If we do this, in another 10-15 years, budgets will get invested, serious budgets, and government machinery will get invested and it will start moving that way. Because these things cannot be done overnight. These things have to be pushed and pushed and pushed so that slowly it moves in that direction. Policy change must happen. Policies may go unimplemented, but it doesn't matter. First, policy change should happen. Only if it's there in the policy can you put pressure on the governments. If it's not there in the policy, you have no business to put pressure on the government because it's not a part of their policy. So first thing is policy. Policy changes must happen for every latitudinal region in terms of equatorial, tropical, subtropical and temperate regions. We have different prescription as to what should happen there. 5 simple things that must happen. Every citizen must be aware of it, that's what we are looking at. But with this virus, the events that we were planning have to be put off quite indefinitely. So we are looking at alternate ways of doing this. And right now the Colombian government, Global Landscapes Forum is also looking at this, and we are seeing how to, nudge all these different platforms in the world to move towards policy change in the world. Well, some countries may not cooperate, but it's okay. Even if you move 60 to 70% of the nations in policy in a certain direction, it's a huge change. They are saying, whatever emissions we have done into the atmosphere through automobiles and factories and whatever, there is some number of gigatons of carbon that's gone out. If you plant 1 trillion trees, and if they become 15-year-old, trillion trees, that entire thing that you let out in the last 50 years will be absorbed by these trees. That is the calculation the scientists are making. Planting 1 trillion trees is not a problem. When we are planting 2.4 billion trees, in Kaveri Basin alone, planting 1 trillion trees, engaging the world's population is not big anyway. Now with the virus, a whole lot of us are going to be unemployed, at least we must plant trees. So even I'm unemployed. So we definitely have to use this opportunity. If we cannot keep the economy on full throttle, at least we must do ecological restructuring. This is the best time to do it. Economy is going slow, we can as well do ecological restructuring to whatever extent we can. There are many things to be done, not just the planting of trees. But bringing the world's soil under shade is a very, very important aspect. There are many things, it's not that we're ignorant of that, but the most important thing is, if you want to preserve the biodiversity of the soil, it must come under shade, it must be wet. Always it must be moist. If you go 6 to 9 inches down, it must be somewhat moist, then only there's life. Otherwise, all the microorganisms and other things which make this earth rich will go. When we say soil, it's not a very big affair. It is only 39 inches on an average. Here, this is why this land is considered a gold mine for people who want to live here, because this is one of the few places where our topsoil goes up to 20 feet. On an average, the world has only 39 inches of topsoil. 39 inches is not very difficult to tend to, isn't it? All you have to do is put enough organic content in it. Trees, leaves and the other green litter that comes from it is most vital. Of course, animals are also important, but right now, of the 51 million square kilometers of land which is used for agriculture in this world, 40 million square kilometers of land is used for raising animals and their food. That is 77% of the agricultural land is being used for raising animals. Well, if you give up 50% of the meat consumption in the world, you will free 20 million square kilometers of land to plant trees. You can plant over 1 trillion trees right there. It's not difficult to do if there is a policy.
Next question is from Himani. Namaskaram Sadhguru. As someone who makes art, I want to know if my art can support me in going beyond my tendencies.
Hey, who is this competition, huh?
Or does it get reiterated in expression? What is the right way to approach art making?
Just now, today, they delivered a dozen canvas frames to me because I'm supposed to be painting in the next few days. So here was competition. So, should art be my expression or should it be something else? See, I think just recently I spoke about this in one of the conversations that we had here 3-4 days ago. Lot of very tortured human beings have been doing artwork. Yes, I'm not saying they should not, but I'm saying this has been the history of art. And if you look at some of the art, I went into somebody's home, a very very rich home, big one, like 5 feet by 5 feet kind of artwork. And there were some paint strokes at the back without any particular purpose, like this, like that, different colors. And there were over 200 this big I'm telling you, it's this big, clearly over 7 inches long, thick nails, just hammered randomly. So I walked into the house and as you enter, on the right side, this thing was there. I said, what are these nails and this stuff? No, it's an expression. If this is what is happening in your mind, you should not express a thing. Should a human being not find expression to some struggles that they're having within themselves, they should go sit in a forest or a desert and sing their heart out, all the pain. But you should not spill it on the society. They got enough troubles already. If you have something positive, something wonderful to say, yes. Or if you're depicting maybe some struggles of the society itself, okay. But your nonsense, at least this is my way of looking at life. If ever some nonsense comes up in me, I think it's my business never to spill it on anybody. So, you got little, not that virus, some other little, and you feel like spitting. Spit on somebody, is it? Hello? When you cough, this is a dry cough, this virus doesn't give you phlegm. You have some phlegm. So because this is your expression right now, you spit on this guy who is sitting here? What kind of expression is that? So whether it is phlegm from your throat or phlegm from your mind, in my opinion, they're the same things. So should art be an expression of what's happening within you? If what's happening within you is so beautiful, please do it. Otherwise, art is generally a little reflection of creation. You caught some beautiful part of it, you can't catch the whole of it. You want to imitate the creator a little bit, in your own little way. Because you can't catch the whole cosmos, you caught one bit, maybe you just painted a leaf or a flower or a bird or something. Not necessarily in its realistic form, maybe in a funny form, maybe it's a cartoon kind of painting, it's an abstract kind of painting, it is something else, it's okay. But whatever you do are only images that you've gathered from what's around you, there is nothing else for you. So it's important, especially if you are I don't know, if you are a well-known artist and everybody is going to look at it, it's very important that it causes the right kind of things in people, something that'll enhance their life, not something that'll drive them to some madness. This nail painting, I just couldn't figure out. I spent some time in front of it trying to understand, am I missing something, if there is something, some deeper meaning in it. So, art is just because we are feeling little jealous of the creator, we also want to do something. Everything has been created so fantastic, actually one lifetime is not enough to pay attention to it, but we also want to act up a little bit, it's okay. Human beings have the right to do that. But if you are a tortured human being, please don't spill your torture on other people. If you're a tortured human being, you must withdraw. This is what I would say. Oh, if I withdraw, my torture will go up. It will either go up or you will get cured, one of these things will happen for sure. Because this is important for us to understand. A social situation, whether it is the small unit of the family or larger society or the nation or the world, human beings have many problems. whether within the family, within the society, within an institution, wherever, it's important for us to understand that we present our best to everybody. This is important. Oh, should I pretend? No, I'm saying you must fix yourself. I'm not saying if you're tortured, you must be smiling at everybody. I'm saying bloody fix yourself. Why do you have to pretend? If you can't fix your thought, your emotion, your torture, if somebody else is torturing you, you can't fix it, that guy has to fix you, the nails. But if you're torturing yourself, you can stop. Oh, is it that simple? It is. Why do you think I'm wasting my life on you teaching this inner engineering all over the place? Because I thought you'll bloody fix yourself. It has everything to fix yourself. Because, should I talk about my torture? Should I? Oh, many years ago, 39 years ago, suddenly I realized it doesn't take anything to be ecstatic. If I don't mess with myself, with my mind, I'm ecstatic. Then I thought within 2.5 years I'll turn the entire world ecstatic. But it took me some time to understand how invested people are in their miseries. They're carrying their bloody misery like their wealth. To make them understand that your misery is not wealth, it's filth. So don't enshrine that in artwork, your filth. Don't keep throwing it on other people, your filth. Your misery is your filth, whether you like it or not. I know cinema, art, this, that might have eulogized suffering. Religions have eulogized suffering in a big way. This happened. Shankaran Pillai and his wife were driving Ford Mustang. They were living in Texas. They bought a Ford Mustang, 600 bhp, and it's quick and it doesn't have the controls of a Ferrari. Am I saying making a mistake? I have to… It has about the same kind of power but doesn't have the same kind of control. So Shankaran Pillai wanting to impress his wife, made it roar. Before they went into the top gear, they reached heaven. So in heaven, they welcomed them and they looked around, everything was beautiful. So they inquired, is there golf in heaven? They said, yes. And can we see? Yes, fabulous place, fantastic gardens and great-looking golf course, everything. So the angels were driving the couple through this beautiful terrain. Then they saw there was one pit full of fire and a few people were burning and screaming. They said, what is this? They said, no, they're religious, They like it that way. So heaven provides what you like. Without suffering, these things don't work. So a whole lot of eulogizing of suffering has happened. Religion is the first culprit. Next comes art, next comes music. All these things have done these things that suffering is a good thing. Literature, European literature, intellectually it's wonderful. I've gone through all that, Dostoevsky, Tolstoy and Camus and Kafka. What suffering! Unbelievable suffering. Somehow eulogizing suffering, that suffering is the only way you can be profound. See, this is the truth with most human beings. Pain is the most profound thing in their life. Joy is not so profound, love is not so profound, they've never tasted profoundness of ecstasy. Pain is the most profound thing. If you don't understand what I am saying, take a pin and just poke yourself. You know, it's very deep, just a pinprick. Your most, let's say, your dearest friend simply poked you with a pin. Friendship just went boof. One pinprick. It will take a lot of rebuilding, otherwise it's gone. One pinprick. That is how profound pain is. To make your blissfulness more profound in the pain, it will take a little bit of work on you. That's why we gave you the tools of inner engineering. If every day… No, I know you're… On the darshan day, maybe you're doing some practice and coming and sitting in front of me. If every day, all dimensions of what inner engineering is, if it's in practice every moment of your life, then you will know profoundness of ecstasy which is way beyond pain, way beyond. That is why the man will allow the scorpion to sting. Not that there's no pain, scorpion gives you, oof, your whole nervous system will go crazy if a scorpion venom enters you. But when your ecstasy is deeper than that, it's just one more thing. So that needs some work. Till that happens, I would say, let your art not be an expression, let it be an appreciation of some aspect of nature, people, whatever. You may not like it, many artists may not like it, just my opinion, but I am also an artist, I can have an opinion. New artist, but an artist. At least I've sold one painting. You will see many more. Are we done? I'm sorry, it's time. What's that? One question, we'll finish.
This question is from Himanshu. Namaskaram Sadhguru. You often say yogaratoa, bhogaratoa. I want to know what the bhogi can… how the bhogi can attain.
Oh.
And what is the scope for him?
No way out for him. We said yoga and bhoga. We did not say yogi and bhogi. Yogi means one who is established in yoga. Bhogi means one who is established in bhoga. Is there a way out for him? No way out for him. This happened. At one time, Shankaran Pillai was a Isha meditator. So he was diligently meditating, then he got married. He's been meditating for over 15 years. Now he got married. The wife had a policy. Anything that was related to her husband before she came must be banished one after another. So all his friends, one by one, they were dumped. Some old college crush dumped. Of course, the mother-in-law dumped. But one thing was nagging her, almost after 5-6 years of marriage, one thing was enduring and Shankaran Pillai was not willing to give it up. That was his meditation mat. You know, the Isha logo and what is the slogan on it? Just the symbol and Isha logo. He is not willing to give up his meditation mat. One day in the morning, he woke up and wants to do his morning sadhana. He's looked and looked for his meditation mat, not to be found. Then he asked his wife, "What happened to my meditation mat?" She said, "It attained nirvana." Well, he was supposed to attain, but… So, a bogey, an established bogey, no way out. Yoga ratova, boga ratova is different. Yogi bogi are two different identities. So you're identified with that which entangles you, and then you say, "How will I get liberated?" Well, the mat may do it. Yoga yoga yogeshwaraya bhuta bhuta bhuteshwaraya kala kala kaleshwaraya Shiva Shiva Sarveshwaraya Shambho Shambho Mahadeva